Hello, Professor. We are Group 2, and today we'll be presenting our iOS application BloomVerse. Our team members are my name is Karishma, Haspinder Dhillon, and Adarshvir Singh. BloomVerse is a floral boutique and a personalized boutique studio that we developed to make flower shopping more personalized, convenient, and interactive. Throughout this presentation, we'll walk you through the purpose of our application, its system design, and the technologies we used, our individual contributions, and also the final demonstration of the working application. So the question must be coming, what exactly BloomVerse is? BloomVerse is an iOS floral shopping application where users can do much more than simply browse flowers. Users can explore individual flowers as well as curated bouquets. If they're unsure about what to choose, the application can provide bouquet recommendations based on their occasion and also their budget. We also created a bouquet studio where users can personalize their own bouquet, add their selections to the cart, and continue through checkout. Along with shopping features, we also included account management, previous order history, and also an in app flower care guide. So, our main idea was to bring flower shopping, personalization, ordering, and account management together into one application. The reason we developed BloomVerse came from some of the limitations we noticed in traditional floral shopping. Customers may have flower options, but the experience can still have limited personalization. Finding a bouquet that suits a particular occasion can take time, and the customers may want more control over things like flower wrapping and overall presentation of a bouquet. And also, browsing, customization, ordering, and managing previous purchases can sometimes feel separate experiences. BloomVerse is our solution to that problem. Instead of only providing ready made bouquets, users can explore different options, receive recommendations, and even based upon their occasions, can create their own. We then connect our experience with the cart, checkout, account management, order history, and flower care resources. So overall goal of BloomVerse is to make floral gifting more personal, convenient, and very enjoyable for the user. This diagram right here gives a high-level overview of how our application is structured. The user begins at welcome screen where they can register or log in. After authentication, they can enter the main explore section of BloomVerse. From there, users can explore flowers, search and filter them, and view individual flower details as well. We also have recommendation flow where user provides an occasion and a budget, and the application helps recommend suitable options to them. For users who want more control, the Bouquet Studio also allows them to customize the bouquet and review it in the bouquet summary. The purchasing flow then continues through a cart, checkout, payment, and order save status, followed by PDF and QR receipt functionality. We also divided some functionality into separate modules. The authentication module handles registration, login, email verification, password reset, and logout. The profile module provides account information, order history, and our flower care guide. And the database module is responsible for locally saving and retrieving order information. So rather than building BloomVerse as a disconnected screens, we designed different features to work on as one complete user journey. For development, we used combination of technologies covered in class and additional technologies that each team member researched. For our core development, we used Swift UI Kit, Xcode, and Storyboard. Our application uses multiple UI view controllers connected through Seeks and navigation. We also incorporated UI table view with custom table view cells, UI search bar, UI a picker view, UI slider, UI date picker, and UI alert control. For additional functionality, we also used WebKit view, AV foundation, arrays, and collections, as well as local database and SQL-like concepts. Another important project requirement was for each team member to research and integrate a technology that was not covered in the class. So for my contribution, I researched and implemented Firebase authentication, which handles registration, login, email, verification, password reset, and the logout. Haspinder implemented the speech framework, including the speech recognition and the microphone functionality. Adarshvir worked on PDF kit and core image, which are used to generate the order receipts and the QR code. These technologies allowed us to go beyond basic screen navigation and create more complex and more unique iOS application. Now I'll talk about my individual contribution to BloomVerse. My main responsibility was authentication and user profile experience. I worked on the complete user journey, starting from the welcome screen through registration and login, and then into the profile section. For authentication, I integrated Firebase authentication. Users can create an account, receive an email verification link, log in only after their email has been verified, and resend forgotten password, and also secure logout. For the profile side, I developed the profile screen, account information, and the flower care guide. I worked on 7 view controllers in total: welcome view controller, registration, login, forget password, profile view, account information, and flower care guide. I also created 2 non-view controller classes: Bloom users and use account session. Bloom users represent the user account information, while account session gets the currently logged in Firebase user and makes that information available to the application. These are my first 3 screens I developed: the welcome, login, and the registration screens. Together, they form the starting point of my authentication flow. The registration and login are connected with the Firebase authentication, and I also included input validation and email verification as well. I'll demonstrate how these work in my demonstration coming shortly. These are my forget password, profile page, and account information screens. They allow users to reset their password, manage their profile options, and view information associated with their account. And these show some of the additional functionality I implemented: the flower care guide using WebKit view, the Firebase email verification, and the confirmation alert before logout. These all are integrated into the same authentication and profile flow. One of the biggest part of the development was troubleshooting problems while integrating all these screens. My first challenge was Firebase authentication. The registration and login had to work together correctly, but I also needed to prevent an unverified account from entering into the application. I solved this by reloading the Firebase user after login and checking is email verified before allowing them to continue. Another challenge was navigation because we had multiple screens connected in different ways. Some back buttons initially returned to wrong screen. I checked how each screen was being presented and corrected my storyboard connections, my Seek identifiers, and IB actions. I also had issues when my account information wasn't displaying correctly. I connected the profile information with the authenticated user and used my user model and the session class so that the logged in username and the email could be displayed properly. Finally, while connecting the storyboard and while connecting the storyboards, I encountered some of the runtime crashes caused by incorrect or old IB outlet, IB action, and seek connections. I used Xcode error messages and connection inspector to identify those connections, removed the incorrect ones, reconnected them, and verified the storyboard identifiers matched my code. These challenges actually helped me understand the relationship between storyboard, view controllers, and navigation, also the Firebase, so much better. I will now demonstrate the part which I completed. So this is the welcome screen which the user comes when they comes into this app. So it has 2 buttons. One is a login button, one is a register button. So as of now, I do not have any account. So I'm gonna show this is my Firebase. So this is empty. It does not have any users or anything into it. So I'm gonna go to my, so we cannot log in right now. Let's say even if we log in, if I write my email and any in, let's say this password, if I log in, it's gonna say incorrect email or password, please try again. So I do not have the account, I won't be able to log in. I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna go to register. So I'm gonna create my account. My name is Karishma. I'm gonna put my email address. I'm gonna set a password. Let's say if I just register by putting different passwords on both, it's gonna say make sure both the passwords are same. Let's say if I do not enter the passwords and maybe I put a wrong email, it's gonna say missing information. So I'm just showing all those alerts as well. I'm gonna put my email. And then I'm gonna register. So it says account has been successfully created and a verification email has been sent. Let's say if I do not verify the email right now and I just simply try to log in into my account. And I put my password. And if I say login, it's gonna say email verification has to be done. And an unused, unverified person cannot log in. So I'm gonna go to my Chrome, go to my emails. So I got this email from BloomVerse. If I click on this link, my email has been verified and now I can sign in into my account. I can even show here that I got the user in my authentication users as well. So I'm gonna go back, log in, and I've logged in successfully. This is the exploring page where the user can either explore flowers or bouquets. This is the profile button which I used. So this has all the user information. Account information, it's gonna say which the name which they have entered while registering and the email address which they have put while registering. So it's gonna show up here. If I go back, I can go into the flower care guide. This uses WebKit view and it's going to display how to keep the flowers fresh for long. These are the orders, whatever the previous order this person has done. So it does save this information in the database. And this is a logout button. If the user clicks onto this, it's going to ask whether they really want to log out, because sometimes they just click by mistake. But yes, let's say if I want to log out, I am going to click log out over here. Now if I explain my code, how I actually did this. This is my account information first. So this class handles the account information screen. It gets the logged in users information and displays their full name and their email address. So my previous recording stopped, so I had to record in another one. So I'm going to demonstrate my code into this. This is my account information view controller. The purpose of this controller is to display the information of the user who is currently logged into the BloomVerse. I have two labels connected to my storyboards for the user's full name and another for their email. When this screen loads, I call my load information method so that the user details are displayed immediately. Inside this method, I use my account session class to get the currently logged in user. I used a guard condition because there is a possibility that no user is logged in. If there is no current user, I display not available instead of leaving incorrect or empty information. If a user exists, I get their full name and email from the my BloomVerse object and display them in the labels. I used account session here instead of directly accessing accessing from the Firebase from this view controller because I wanted to keep my Firebase logic separate from my UI code. I also have two back button actions. One is for the navigation bar button and another one is for the back to the profile button. Both call the same method, so I don't have to repeat the same navigation code again and again. Then I'm gonna go to my flower care view controller. This is my flower care view controller. I created this screen to provide users with the flower care information directly into the BloomVerse. For this feature, I imported a WebKit and used a WK web view. The web view is connected to my storyboard through an IB outlet. When the screen loads, I set the title of the flower care guide and call my load flower care guide method. Inside this method, I create the URL for the flower care website. I use a guard condition to make sure URL is valid before trying to actually load it. After that, I create a URL request and load that request into my web view. I used WK web view because I wanted the users to access the flower care resource directly inside BloomVerse instead of having to leave the application and open a separate browser. Finally, I have my back button that dismisses the flower care screen and returns the user back to the profile section. Next I have is my login view controller. This is my login view controller and this is one of the main controllers of my Firebase. It's a long view controller. I imported Firebase authentication for login functionality and the AV foundation for the success sound. I have two text fields connected to my storyboard for the user's email and password. And I also have an audio player for playing the sound. When the login button is tapped, I get the email and password entered by the user. Before sending anything to Firebase, I validate the information. I check that neither field is empty and I also check that the email has a valid format. I Once the validation passes, I call my login user method. Just show it here. This method uses the Firebase authentication just to sign the user in with their email and their password. If I if Firebase returns an error, I show a login failed alert instead of allowing the user to continue the application. After Firebase is successfully logged in, or like it successfully authenticates the account, I reload the user. I did this because I wanted to get their latest email verification and status from the Firebase. Then I check is email verified. If it is true, the login is successful. If it is false, I sign the user back out and show a message asking them to verify their email before logging in. After a successful login, I play my success sound using AV Foundation and show the welcome alert. When the user presses continue, I navigate them to the home screen. I also have the forget password section as well, which takes the user to my forget password screen and back to the welcome screen. Finally, I have my method for setting up my text fields. I use an email keyboard and a display auto correction and automatic capitalization for the email. I also made the password field secure so that the password is invisible while the user is typing. And this is my success sound, and these are my back buttons. Then I have is my profile view controller. From this screen, the user can access their account information, order history, flower care, and logout. I use IB action, and the storyboard seeks to navigate from the profile screens to the different sections of the application. For logout, instead of immediately signing the user out, when they press the button, I first display the confirmation that do they actually want to log out, because sometimes they just click by mistake. And if they confirm to log out, I call my logout user method. This uses the Firebase authentication to sign out the current user and end their authenticated session. Once the logout is successful, I navigate them back to the welcome screen. Or I also handle the possibility of Firebase not being able to sign in the user out. In case of that, I display a logout failed alert instead of continuing. Next is my register view controller. This is my register view controller, which handles creating new BloomVerse accounts using Firebase authentication. I have 4 text fields for the user's full name, email, password, and password confirmation. I also use AV Foundation here for my registration success sound. That's at the last. When the user taps in, I first collect the information from all the four feeds. Before creating an account, I perform several validation like their email is valid, the password is at least 6 characters, both the passwords are same, all that. I check none of the fields are empty, that the email has a valid format as well. I added these checks before Firebase so incomplete or incorrect information doesn't continue through the registration process. Once everything is valid, I call my create Firebase user method. Firebase creates this account using the email and the password. After the Firebase account has been created, I save the user's full name as the database displays the name. I did this because Firebase authentication mainly uses email and password, but I also needed user's name for account information as well. I and then I use the Firebase to send an email verification to a newly registered account. Once the registration is complete, I play the success sound using AV Foundation and show the account has been created. I also set both my password fields as secure fields, and also the email field has capitalization as well. So, and later I just have this is all my sound music which I did for the button, and that's it. I explained it very fast because I had my script, but I was slow in loading the screen. Next is my welcome view controller. This is my welcome view controller. It's the starting point of the authentication flow. As we all know, I kept this controller simple because its main responsibility is navigation. It gives the user two options: log in if they already have a BloomVerse account, or register if they are new to the app. Both buttons are connected using IB actions, and I also used storyboard seeks with their identifiers to open the correct screen. So this controller basically acts as an entry point into my complete authentication flow. I also have my two custom classes, which is Bloom user and account session. Bloom user, I created this custom model to represent a user who's inside my application. It stored the three-piece information that we need is user's full name, email address, and email verification status. I also created an initializer for the same, so that it that receives the values whenever a Bloom user object is created and stores them in the object. The reason I created a model instead of handling these three values separately is that I wanted the user's information to stay together as one organized object. This also makes it easier for other parts of my application to work with the user information. Another one is my account session. I created this class to manage access to the currently logged in Firebase user. At the top, I created a shared instance of account session. This allows the different parts of my application to access the same session of class instead of creating new object every time. I made the initializer private so additional account session objects cannot be created unnecessarily. And then the main method in this class is get current user. First, it checks the Firebase authentication for the currently logged in user. If there is no logged in user, it returns nil. If there is a user already logged in, it takes the Firebase display name, email, and verification status and use that information to create my own Bloom user object. I then return that Bloom user object so it can be used by another part of my application, such as my account information and view controller. I created this class because I didn't wanted the Firebase current user logic directly inside every view controller. It keeps the responsibility in one place and makes view controllers cleaner. And then I guess I covered all of my view controllers. Register view controller is also left. I guess I showed all of these. I forgot to show my forget password working. So I'm gonna click on login, and let's say if I forget my password, I'm gonna click on forget password. So it would ask me to enter your email address. So I'm gonna enter the email address which I used while registering. If I click on send reset link, so the link has been sent to my email. So I go into my email and I got this reset link for the BloomVerse. If I click on here, I can set the new password. Let's say I save it, and my new password has been saved. And if I go back to my stimulator, I can use my new password and it will just log me in. Thank you.
Hi, this is Haspinder, and my contribution to BloomVerse project was focused mainly on the flower exploration, bouquet recommendation, and bouquet personalization. So I worked on explore flower section, including the flower catalog, category filters, search, and flower details. I also worked on the recommendation flow where the user can select an occasion, pick up budget, and then he will receive the suitable bouquet. And from there, I have worked on Bouquet Studio, which basically allows user to customize their bouquet with the kind of flowers they want, the wrapping, they can choose the color of their ribbon, the number of stems of the flowers they want in their bouquet, and they can totally customize their bouquet according to their need and their budget. And apart from this, there is one more additional feature which I have worked on, is basically the speech framework and microphone integration for voice-based flower search and bouquet search. So the intention was basically to allow users to search for flower using their voice instead of typing, and then the same logic is applied on occasion as well. So instead of picking an occasion, they can use their voice for selecting an occasion. And then for that, I used Apple Speech Framework together with AV Foundation for the microphone and a speech recognition setup. And but for our current prototype, the live microphone recognition was not reliable in our testing environment. So the demonstration of this application is basically using the controlled result. So however, the result is still passed and through the same search, and uses kind of the same search logic and filtering flow that normal text search uses. So the overall idea was to give the customer different ways to find and create a bouquet instead of forcing them into one path. So this basically shows the overall flow of my part of the application. So this starts with the explore option where the user can choose if he wants to explore flowers or if you want to go for bouquet. So let's say the user is choosing explore flowers, and once he click on explore flower, and then they can browse our flower catalog that has flower images, flower name, occasion, description, and price. And let's say the user is looking for some specific flower, then they can search about those in our search bar. And if he doesn't want to do it manually, if he doesn't want to type anything, then he can also use our category buttons. Then they can search on any button. Let's say if he's looking for rose, and if he doesn't want to do it manually, then he can just hit on rose button, and then all the roses we have in our stock will appear on the screen. And from here, then the user can basically select a flower to see its detail, and if you want to buy individual flowers, or he can move into our recommendation flow. And for users who are not sure about what kind of bouquet they want, but they kind of have an idea about the occasion, then they can use our recommendation feature. So they can basically select an occasion, they can adjust their budget, and then the application will provide a suitable recommendation. And the user can either use the recommended bouquet, or he can totally customize it according to his choices. So let's say he wants to customize the bouquet, then he just has to hit on the customize bouquet button, and then it will leads to Bouquet Studio, where he can select the flower, wrapping, color of the ribbon, quantity, like how many number of flower stems he wants in the bouquet, and then the greeting message he wants as well. And then the price will also updates on the based on the user selection. So this is our summary bouquet summary screen. After customization, the user gets a summary of their choices before confirming the order. So this basically gives user a final opportunity to review the flower, wrapping, ribbon, number of stems, price, the greeting message. Once they confirm with the bouquet, either they can add it to the cart, or if they are still deciding, then they can hit on still deciding button and it will stay over there. And if they want to change anything, they can just go back and like change it, and then they can add it to the cart. So but if they are sure, they can just hit on view cart button, the bouquet will be added into the cart, and then they can continue with the rest of the purchasing process. And these are some challenges which I have faced during the project. And the first one was making the flower catalog easy to navigate. I solved this by combining a search bar and with category filtering, so the user can either type on the search bar, or he can click on category buttons for searching flowers. The second one is making a recommendation response to user view. For an example, the recommendations needs to change based on the occasion or maybe on the budget, because things the user like the situations can be different. So for that, we use the recommendation manager to handle that logic. The third one was customization. So the user, like our Bouquet Studio screen was giving so many customization options to the user, like they can customize flower, wrapping, ribbon, quantity, and everything. So this will all affect the final bouquet. So the application keeps those selections together and updates the price accordingly. Then we have passing data. So this is basically that the selections have to move between several screens. For an example, from choices made in Bouquet Studio to a summary screen, or maybe the choices they're like recommendation screen, and the user wants to customize it, and once he's done with the customizing, then it has the whole data has to move to the summary screen and then added to the cart. So there are like so many there were like several screens, and then the data was passing by. So I handled that by passing the selected value between the view controllers. So overall, my part focuses on the customer decision making process, from exploring flowers to finding or customizing or recommending a bouquet, their final bouquet. I'll now move into the implementation and show how these features were built in the code. Okay, so now I will demonstrate the features I worked on directly in the application. I am going to start with the Explore section. Just give me a second. Here it is. So this is where the customer begins to discover flowers or bouquet, and I'll then show the voice search functionality, and which will be followed by the recommendation and customization flow. Let me just turn on the simulator. Here it is. Okay, so okay, just give me a second. So this is the screen, and this screen basically gives the customer two main ways to explore. Either they can go for individual flowers or they can go for bouquet. I am going to start with individual flowers, but before that, this is the navigation bar which we are using for this page. This one directly goes to the search flower, explore flower page. This one is for bouquet, this one is for card, and this one is for profile. This is the home page. This page is basically the home page as well. And if the user clicks on this button, then this is the explore flower. This basically shows the flower list. And so yeah, so this is our flower catalog, and each flower is displayed with its image, name, occasion, description, and price. So instead of the customer to go through with this whole catalog, like instead of like scrolling through everything, I have added the category buttons, filters at the top. So let's say the user taps on rose, then the roses will be here. If it's tulip, then the tulip will be here. Then we have lily, orchids, and all has like some other flowers as well. So this category buttons basically filter the catalog. So if I select rose, then only roses will be displayed. If I select tulip, only tulips will be displayed. And yeah, that's everything. And then if user doesn't want to do this, if user doesn't want to use the category buttons, then the user can just type over here maybe tulip, then of course the tulip will be here. So this is more like a normal text search. So once the user will type, the result will be filtered based on the flower name. And let's say I want something which is pink. So for an example, if I hit the color, then this also works with the partial names, such as the user doesn't know like the flower name, but he wants something pink, then he can just, just type pink, and then all the pink flowers, like partial name things, like partially with whatever flower's name is pink will be there. And this happens same with white, this can happen with red as well. So yeah, so that's everything. And let's go with the voice search for this one. This is the button which is embedded in on this screen. So the interaction, the I basically designed the interaction through this interaction through voice search. So instead of typing a name or maybe choosing from category buttons, the customer can use a microphone to provide the search input. But here the microphone button will produce lily, and let's say for an example, say lily, then the recognized result is placed into the search field, and then the flower list is filtered using the same search functionality. But because our current prototype, this button, this live microphone recognition was not reliable and in the testing environment, so the final demonstration which I have just showed is basically using a control test result. So the speech framework and AV foundation integrations are implemented in the controller, but because the button the button is currently providing the predictable results for the prototype. And Yeah, so yeah, for this one we use the controlled result thing, and which is actually hard coded. But the important part of the flow was that the voice result feeds into the same search functionality rather than requiring a separate search system. So, and then let's say the user wants choose like the user selects a flower, maybe like pink rose. Then when I select a flower, the selected flower object is passed into a detail screen, and then the detail screen basically displays the image of the flower, the name of the flower, category, occasion, description, and also the price of the flower. And from here, the user can also add this to the cart. And so this is the option for that. And let's say I want to go to bouquet recommendation now. So either I can click on this one, or I can go from here, and I'm selecting this thing. And this is the second major feature I have worked on, and which is basically this bouquet recommendation thing. So this is for different types of customer. For someone who knows the occasion, but or like who knows the budget but who doesn't necessarily know what flowers would work best. So let's say we have a customer, he's looking for something for a wedding, and then his budget is not $65 but maybe $28 in between, like, or maybe $45. So whatever the bouquet we have around that price, it will be recommended on the screen. So the recommendation updates based on the inputs which are basically given by the customer, and then the customer can basically experiment with different kinds of occasion budgets, different kind of budgets and occasions. So then the application will basically display the recommended bouquet, including its image, description, and the price. For example, let's say I want something for graduation, and this is the one which is under kind of like $45, and then this is for which is more than $45. So this is how it changed, and this is how it recommends the bouquet according to the budget and occasion. And then we also have voice input in this one. So let's say, which is over here. So but again, this will display the controlled result. In this one I've coded wedding. So let's, for an example, once I hit the button and the customer or the user will say the occasion, the result will placed into the occasion field, and then the recommendation is calculated using that input. And this is again, the functionality is very similar to Explore Flowers microphone. And because the current prototype only uses the controlled result for the demonstration, because the live microphone capture was not reliable in our environment, the simulator was not reliable with that. So these one, for this one, it's like wedding. So again, so the occasion category updated, and then it is showing the bouquet according to the occasion, which is again given by the user. So these are the two voice interactions which basically uses the same idea. Voice is being used to provide the inputs, and then the existing application logics processes that input. And then let's say this is something which I want to add to the cart. So now either I can use the same recommended bouquet or I can customize it. Let's say I want to customize this bouquet. So this will open a bouquet studio. So here the customer basically can choose the flower, wrapping, ribbon, quantity, and greeting messages. And here the customer can change, select, customize the bouquet accordingly. So the all of these options are basically using UI picker view for flower wrapping and ribbon, and the customer can select the choices rather than entering values into it, and then he can also increase the number of stems he wants in the bouquet. He can, and then once the stems are increasing or maybe decreasing, the price is updating automatically. And once done, the customer also can add greeting message, and then he can hit on create bouquet. Now this will basically show the summary screen. Now before the bouquet is added to the cart, we show the customer a summary screen of their selections. Then we have selected flower, wrapping, ribbon, number of stems, total price, and greeting, which is all of these are carried forward to this screen from the customization screen. This gives the customer a final opportunity to review what they created, and then once the customer is done, they can hit on confirm bouquet. Now if they are still deciding, if they are not sure, then they can click on this button. They can review this again. If they are done, then they can click on view cart, and the bouquet will be added to the cart. This and yeah, and that's everything. Now from the implementation side, there are like so many pieces which are actually there are like so many the features which are there. For an example, in model class, here in model class we have flower model, bouquet model, and then we have view controllers which are basically responsible for each screen. And then we have a recommendation manager, which is over here. This is my work. So yeah, recommendation manager for the recommendation logic, and this one here for speech recognition. We have speech frameworks and AV foundation. So the intent was to use voice search for searching options, and which is here. Yeah. So basically we were using AV foundations and speech framework. So so intent was giving voice input, and then speech recognition, text output, and then passing that text into our existing research or recommendation logic. The main thing which I focused on was making these features work together as one user flow rather than treating each feature as a separate function. So that's the exploration of voice interaction, recommendation, and customization functionality that I worked on. Yeah, and that's everything. Thank you.
Okay, so hi everybody. So in this project BloomVerse, I was mainly responsible for doing 6 screens, and that are, at first it's cart, and after cart it's checkout. After checkout we do payment, and after payment we have option of getting receipt in two forms. One is QR code and other one is PDF receipt. And after that is the order history. In order history we can see what things have been ordered through BloomVerse. Now let's go and dig into each of these screens and see the details. Okay, so in this screen we can see we have at first is cart. So in cart we will have a image of the bouquet or the flowers which has been selected. We can select and see the customization of that thing. We can decrease or increase the quantity, like if I want 10 flowers or 2 bouquets, or I want to reduce the amount, I can do that, and I will see the price over there. I can remove that particular item, or either I can go straight to checkout. And when we go straight to checkout, we will still have an image of that bouquet or flower, and there we will have a blank, and we have to fill our form. It's mandatory. We have to fill our name in that, and we'll select the pickup date whenever we want our products to be delivered or picked up, and then we place order. We click that button and the order gets placed. And then we have a payment screen. So in the payment screen you will enter your name, and you will have to enter your 16-digit card number, your expiry date and CVV number, and after that you hit pay now, and now you have paid for the flower you selected. Now let's go ahead and see what will happen next. And in the next, we can see here we have order history. So basically in this one we will have an option of getting the receipt in two options. One is the PDF receipt, another one is the QR one. And in this first one screen we can see the PDF receipt, and in QR screen we can see the QR code receipt. And after that we can go to the main menu at the back, and we can see the order history, and we will have in a table view, like there would be rows and columns of the receipts of the customers who have placed the order. Okay, so the challenges and solution that were faced by me, at first it was the card state management, where like I had to keep the same bouquet or the same flowers throughout the whole process, so the image should not get replaced, or the name or anything else. So I managed that using cart manager to maintain selected bouquet and quantity and price globally all over. And second was the order storage. The orders need to be stored in the system after the order has been placed. So I created order objects and saved using database manager for later retrieval of these things. And then we had the problem of the receipt. Needed a readable digital order summary for customers. So the format should be readable so customer can read and understand the things. So I generated a PDF kit and deployed it using a PDF view for that. And then we had a challenge for the QR code thing, and for that I generated a QR code with core image encoding the order info in that particular QR code. Okay, so hi everybody. So in this demo and preview I will present you my work on this preview screen, and I will also show you the code. So if I go to Xcode, here we can see, so at first we have the cart view controller, and this right here is the cart view controller, and this you can see the screen as well, all these buttons, everything. And now let's go to the preview. So sorry, yeah, so here is the preview screen. So to show you things, let's choose a flower and proceed. So for example, I choose this pink flower and I will add it to cart. So now it has been added to cart. So let's view cart. So in cart, as we can see, we have a picture of the flower over there, we have the name, we have a simple description about that, expresses admiration, appreciation and affection. The flower is pink rose. So here we can adjust the quantity. For example, I need 5, no, I need 4. The price, or whether we can remove it or I can check out. So let's try to remove it. So we removed it, so now the cart is empty. If I will go back, and for example, I don't want a flower at all, I want a bouquet. So here are we. So let's add this one. So I will use the customer's budget in that. card, sorry, use recommended budget, and let's go to view card. And after going to view card, as we can see, we have the similar things. We have the name, we have picture, we have a description, we have the flower name, the price, and everything. So I want two of these. Let's go to checkout. As we enter the checkout, we can see we have a checkout screen over there. We can decide the pickup date. For here it's 12th of August. We have the total, we have price. So let's enter the name over here. So let me put my name, and if for this one, let me choose another date. So I will pick up it on 11th of the August. So I choose the 11th. So it's here. So now let me just click and place order. So after placing the order, we get to the payment screen, and here we have to put the card holder's name, the card number, month, and year of expiry, and the CVV. So for the card holder name, I'm putting my name, and for the card number, I am just putting zeros. So 16 zeros I'm putting here. It always requires, for example, if I will try to pay now, it will ask me for a card number. So now I will just put zeros. Zeros. Here also. Pay now. So okay. So the payment has been successful. So now we can either view our receipt as a PDF or QR code. So let's view it as a PDF. So as we can see, so here is the receipt as a PDF. I can see that. Now I will just click done over here, and then let's buy some other thing, and then we will print the receipt as the QR code. So let's explore flowers. I will choose white rose. I go to current, view current, and checkout. Name, just putting 80. Place order. Card holder name, I'm putting 80. And card number, I'm putting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So here it is, and now let's view it as a QR code. So here we can just view receipt as a QR code. So now we can go back from here, and now I will show you where all these orders get stored. So I will go back, and we will go to home from here, and then we will go to the profile, and after here we have the account information, flower kit guide, logout, and the orders. So let's click orders. So as we can see all the orders over here. So this is the Anniversary Deluxe one, which we purchased as a bouquet. We purchased 4 of those, and then we had this white rose, one white rose we purchased. So this was the preview, and now we can get the code or the controllers we have over here. So in this one, controllers. So for PDF receipt, I have a controller named PDF receipt controller, and then for order history, I also have order history controller. We have a payment controller, QR code controller, and card view controller, and a checkout controller as well. And for the management of data, we have multiple Swift files as well. For example, this is a cart manager that manages all items in cart and makes sure that the quantity and all everything remains same all over. And then we have a database manager responsible for managing data and all that stuff. We also have that we are using app delegate for saving things too. And then we have a PDF manager that manages PDFs. We have a receipt manager, and then that's the recommendation manager, which is responsible for recommending the bouquet according to your price and preference and all over. So that was all it from my side. Thank you.
This is the one final complete work demo for the whole project altogether. So I showed the registration in my part. I'm just gonna log in over here with my credentials, which I used for registering. I'm gonna log in. And then I'm gonna go to explore flowers. It's gonna show me all the flowers we have: tulip, lily, orchid, roses, everything. But if I wanna go to my bouquets, it's gonna show me all the bouquets I have, so I can use either of them. Let's say I wanna explore flowers. I wanna get this white rose. I'm gonna add this to the cart. View cart. So it's gonna say that I have one white rose in my cart. I'm gonna make the quantity 3. Gonna click on checkout, entering my name, Karishma. Pickup date I want is for August 27th. And then if I click on place order, I would have to enter my card details. Let's say I enter random card details. Expiry date 12/30. CVC, let's say 123. Click on pay. Now I can either get the PDF receipt or a QR code. I'll get a PDF receipt, and here's my PDF receipt for my order. Thank you. Before we conclude, we also considered how BloomVerse could grow if we had another 6 months to continue this development. Our current application provides foundation of a complete floral shopping experience, but we could expand it with additional features like Apple Pay, cloud-based order synchronization, push notifications, live flower inventory, delivery and pickup tracking, and favorite or wish list feature. We could also develop our personalization by introducing AI powered recommendations, where suggestions could be more personalized based upon the user's preferences, their occasions, colors, and previous selections. And also, we can do it from their previous order histories as well. For the business side, florist or the vendor accounts, we can create the location based florist discovery could eventually allow BloomVerse to connect customers with real floral business, not just one, but with many. So, our long term vision is to take BloomVerse from application we have developed today into much more complete digital floral marketplace. To conclude, BloomVerse brings together secure authentication, flower discovery, bouquet personalization, ordering, and account management into one connected iOS experience. Throughout this project, we applied the core iOS concepts we learned in the class while also researching and integrating additional technologies which we learned, such as Firebase, Speech Framework, PDF Kit, and Core Image. As a team, we divided the application into different areas but ultimately integrated our work into one complete user journey, from entering BloomVerse and finding or creating the right bouquet, all the way through checkout, receipt generation, and the order management as well. More importantly, BloomVerse gave us the opportunity to take what we learned throughout the semester and apply it to a larger original application, which makes so much more sense in practical life. Our goal was to make floral gifting more personal, convenient, and interactive, and BloomVerse provides strong foundation for taking that idea even further along. Thank you so much for listening, Professor. We hope you enjoyed our presentation and our application. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.